Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bond Court is now in session.
All right, go ahead and sound check the mic.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm there's connection.
Sir, tell me what your name is.
My apologies, Your Honor. I could not understand the defendant.
Tell him what your name is, please.
¿Puedes subir el volumen de la... No escucho bien.
Can you turn the volume up? I cannot hear very well.
I've done it from my side.
Sí, ahora sí.
Yes, now I can hear.
Ismael Cuevas Carrasco.
Ismael Cuevas Carrasco.
I'm appointing a lawyer to help you with your case.
Sí.
You were arrested for a new charge of grand theft. I find probable cause. I'm setting that bond at $1,000. You're also out on bond in an Osceola County court case. At this time, I'm revoking your release. I will let a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office be appointed to your case. And I holding him at no bond in the Osceola cases. Defense counsel, might be competency issues, but he's allegedly violated his terms of conditional release.
Bond on both of those cases, Your Honor?
Yes. You're to have no contact with the victim or witnesses, and you're to have no return to the scene of the offense in the grand theft case.
No entiendo de qué me acusan.
I do not understand what I'm being charged with.
Grand theft, third degree, for stealing something, allegedly. We'll go ahead and conclude these hearings. Your attorney will check in with you.
Where?
And the case numbers for the court reporter are 2022 CF 4371, Osceola cases 19 CF 1155, and 21 MM 2625. Does anybody else need an interpreter? All right, that's everything for the Spanish interpreter. I'll disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. Fidel Alexander? Is he Creole? Let me have the first person who is English speaking. I believe it's Mary Jameson. What's his name? We're going to pass on him. We're waiting for the Creole interpreter. I believe it's Mary Jameson who does not need an interpreter. Maybe. All right, let's start with Mary Jameson. 2022 MM 4280. I'll appoint to services of the public defender. I will reduce both bonds to $100, no return to the scene of the crime. Do you want to waive?
No, Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve. Could we try for tomorrow? Because I didn't see any competency concerns.
Yeah, I'll roll her to tomorrow. Jeannie Scaglione. Good afternoon. Please tell me what your name is.
Janine Marie Scaglione.
2022 MM 4283. Ma'am, you were arrested for charges of battery and criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. I will go ahead and stay those bonds. Do you want a lawyer to help you with those cases?
That'll be fine.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. Defense counsel, your office already represents her on an out on bond case, 22 CF 5853AO. She was just released, so I'm revoking her release and holding her at none.
Thanks.
Thank you. No. What's your name, ma'am?
Lisa Sloan.
Ms. Sloan, you're here for a charge of burglary of an occupied dwelling. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I do find probable cause. Defense counsel, her history seems remote, so I'll go ahead and reduce the bond to $2,000. I'm ordering that you not possess any weapons. If you have any, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 2 hours of your release. Please call them if you have any. And you're to have no contact with your next door neighbors. If they are outside, you must stay inside or immediately leave your property. Thank you, Ms. Sloan.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and do some arraignments. Stand by for the arraignments. Let's go ahead and switch to Creole interpreters. Good afternoon. Do I have a Creole speaking interpreter online? Oh. Good afternoon. Do I have a Creole speaking interpreter online?
Yes.
Okay, you're swearing in for, I'm going to swear you in to take an oath to do you solemnly swear to interpret from English to Creole and Creole to English to the best of your abilities for these court hearings?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Sir, is your name Fidel Alexander?
Monsieur, est-ce que c'est nom c'est Fidèle Alexander?
Correction.
Arnel Alexander.
Please speak into the microphone.
Interpret.
Charge no longer qualified.
Thank you.
What?
Charge no longer qualified.
S'il vous plaît, parlez dans le micro. Répétez ça bien.
Arnel Alexander. Yo mal écrit.
Fanel Alexandre?
Mm-hmm.
It's Fanel Alexandre.
Sir, you were arrested for aggravated battery on a person over 65 years of age.
Monsieur, yo te arrêté ou deske ou te goumé aggravated battery yo konsa yo relèl avec un monde qui gen plus que 65 ans.
Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Est-ce que ou besoin yon avocat pour aider ou avec ka ou la?
Oui.
Yes.
I will have a lawyer help you, but she does not speak Creole.
Mwen gen yon ma pou un avocat pour aider ou, mais li pa pale créole.
When you're released from jail, call their office. She will give you the phone number.
Lè ke ou sorti nan prison, ou ap rele office li pou li kapab aider ou.
Defense, anything else?
Est-ce que gen l'autre bagay?
Your Honor, based on my reading, I did not see an age listed in the affidavit. I know it's noted elderly. However, I did not see an age. And then I looked for the victim.
He's 71.
Okay, I couldn't see the age. But no other questions.
It wasn't me that attacked him. He attacked me.
Madam Interpreter, could you please advise the client not to speak about the facts of the case?
Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, pas di rien de cas qui t'est passé. Pas di rien.
Okay.
Okay.
Your bond will be stayed at $10,000.
Et puis, bon nan apprêté à $10,000.
Dude, ask for no contact, Your Honor.
You're to have no contact with the victim.
Et puis, victime nan, pou pa gen aucun contact ensemble avec lui.
Or his son.
Ou bien petit garçon li.
And you're not allowed to have any weapons.
Et ou pa gen autorisation pour gen weapon tan kou zam.
Thank you. Your case is over.
Merci, kawa fini.
Comment?
What's he say?
What?
You
What?
cannot own any weapons, and you cannot see the victim anymore.
Ou pa ka gen contact avec moun ki victime nan, et puis ou pa ka pote zam. And after that, where do I go?
Somebody needs to post your bond, but you can go home. Thank you.
Comment on paye pour bon nan après ça au ka la ka yo, merci.
T'as payé pour elle? Comment?
Where are you sending me?
I'm not sending you anywhere. You have to bond out. Your attorney can talk to you after court with the services of a Creole interpreter. Your case is over.
Moi pas
Thank
vo
you.
moi pas voyon en ken côté c'est pour payer pour ka sortir et puis avocat là ou pral jeune avocat là pour continuer à ça. Et que ça fini, merci.
Bagay l'argent, non?
I don't have any money.
Sir, what is your name?
Monsieur qui non ou? Asena Audlin.
What's his name? Where's,
Répétez non encore. Dosena Audlin.
you were arrested for attempted sexual battery.
Et puis yo te arrêté ou parce que ou te essayé faire un acte sexuel.
Do you want a lawyer to help you with this case?
Est-ce que vous besoin d'un avocat pour aider ou avec là?
Non, moi pas d'essayer faire sexe, non?
No.
Can you afford a bond of $5,000?
Est-ce que ou ka payer pour $5,000 pour yo lage ou? Can I pay a lower bond?
I'll deny that request, but because you're questioning the bond amount, I will appoint a lawyer to help you.
Moi pas accepter ça diyan, mais dès que ou dit me comme ça que pour nous descendre prière pour qu'on y a que moi pral ba ou un avocat.
You are to have no contact with the victim of this alleged sexual assault and witness or okay, go.
Faut pas prendre contact du tout avec un moun victime nan.
You are to have no contact with Diego.
Et puis ou pas supposé gen contact avec Diego du tout.
Thank you.
You also advise him that he has an immigration hold.
Sir, even if you can't afford bond, there might be immigration issues that hold you in jail.
Même que monsieur, même que ou pas ta ka payer l'argent pour yo lage ou, mais ou gen un problème avec immigration côté que y a kembo dans prison.
You have an attorney, thank you.
Ou gen un vrai avocat, merci. I can pay the money, the bond. How can I pay it?
Thank you, sir. Your case is over.
Merci, monsieur. Car la fini.
James Wendy Royal.
Yes.
Sir, I will appoint a lawyer to help you with your cases.
Monsieur m'a bon un avocat qui peut aider avec Kauyo.
You're here for missing court, and your bond is none.
Ou vini là, desko perdi rendez-vous tribunal ou, et bon nous c'est zéro.
You're here for possession of MDMA. Your bond is $1,000.
Ou ici, desko possession MMDA.
You also have an open misdemeanor count. 2021 MM 1716. I'm taking no action on that.
And the felony as well, Your Honor?
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. Can I get a repetition of the bond?
You're also
MDMA?
$1,000.
Okay. Yo ko pou paye pou yo lage ou pou ka MDA c'est $1,000 liye.
You also have an old case for criminal mischief.
Et puis ou gen yon lot case criminal mischief.
I will take no action on that.
Et moi pas prend action de ça.
You're also already out on release for other drug charges and paraphernalia charges.
Et puis, yo te getan lage ou pour drogue, charge, accusation drogue yo te charge ou la.
I'm going to revoke your bond
Mwen pral revoke bond nan.
and set bond at
Okay, yeah.
$2,000 per count.
Et puis, mwen pral ba ou on lot prix de $2,000 pour chaque cas.
Thank you. You have a lawyer in all these cases.
Et puis, merci ou gen yon avocat sur tout cas sa yo.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We can disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks, State and Defense, for your patience with it. Are you Mr. Campbell? Come on up. Mr. Campbell, you're here for an arraignment for a case that's about 2 years old. The case number is 2022 CT 98780 for driving under the influence. State, do you have a recommendation on this case?
Your Honor, since it's a VOP, there is no offer at this time.
Sir, based on these charges, do you need a public defender to help you with your violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender.
We'll enter denial, Your Honor.
All right, and we'll enter denials as to all charges. It'll go back to Judge Duckworth.
It'll be pretrial August 8th at 8:30 in courtroom 12C.
Does he have a VOP date?
VOP day is August 15th at 8:30.
Thank you. Henry Fields, thank you. Should I enter denials?
Yes, Your Honor.
Division 81 VOP will be July 18th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 6B.
Jane Doe, AKA Jordan Smith, case number 2022 MM3421. Jane Doe or Jordan Smith, AKA. What's your name, please? I'm sorry, what is it?
Jordan Smith.
You're here and you have a lawyer. You're here for a charge of trespass. Defense counsel, how does she plea?
Your Honor, I didn't get a chance to speak to her. Could I have just a moment?
Sure, I assume it's a time served offer, State?
Yes, Your Honor, State conveyed an offer of an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the Walgreens on North Hiawassee.
Corrections, is there anything else holding her?
Your Honor, Ms. Smith would like to accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
Ms. Smith, how do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on?
No.
Ms. Smith, I'll give you a moment to read the plea form. Once you've read it, go ahead and sign it. Does she have prior, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to withhold since she's been in so long? I see her priors from her last court hearing.
Your Honor, given her history, State was going to leave it at an adjudication.
All right. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea? You'll need to answer loud enough so I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentence you to time served, releasing you on this charge. No return to the scene of the crime, and pay your court costs within a year. You'll be released today. Thank you. Good luck to you, ma'am. Javarius Morgan.
34.
Are you Mr. Morgan?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a public defender. You're here for a misdemeanor charge of resisting officer without violence. The offer is an adjudication time served. Defense counsel, how is he pleading?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter a plea of not guilty in this matter.
Division 82, July 26th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 9B.
After that is Larry Odoms. Mr. Odoms, come on up. Mr. Odoms, you have a public defender. You're here for a charge of criminal trespass. It's a time-served offer with a conviction. Defense counsel, how does Mr. Odoms plea?
No contest, Your Honor.
Mr. Odoms, I'll ask you some questions. Do you plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No guilty.
And has anybody forced you to say guilty? Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Do you understand that? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Say no, ma'am.
And are you under? Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated? Do you understand that?
What?
If you were on probation when you committed this crime, by entering a plea, your probation would be violated.
I understand.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea? Do you understand that too? Okay. Your lawyer will give you a plea form. If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it. Anything holding him?
No, Your Honor.
You're being released on these charges today. I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to time served, no return to the scene of the crime, and pay your court costs within 1 year. That concludes your case. We'll get some fingerprints and you'll be processed out.
Your Honor, did you have the cost of investigation to OPD?
4724 is also ordered to OPD. Thank you. After that, I have Christopher Pierre. State, is it a time served offer?
There was not an offer at this time, Your Honor.
Give me just one moment, sir.
It was a true victim case, Your Honor.
It was what?
It's a true victim case.
Oh, he actually does have a public defender. State, this was a downgrade from circuit court charges to county court. Can you talk to this, can you reach out to the victim and see if he could plea out later on this week if he's inclined to plea to time served?
Yes, Your Honor, I mean, I can call the victim, but.
So in an abundance of caution, do you want me to reset this case for
Yes.
arraignment on Wednesday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Reset for arraignment on 6/29. Thank you.
We're gonna reset him so he can plead.
State to reach out to victim. After that, I have Alhari. Your name, please?
Ahmed Al-Hajri.
2022 MM 4290. Sir, you were arrested for crimes of battery and criminal mischief. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Sorry, do I need what?
Do you want a lawyer to help you with your
Yes,
case?
yes, please.
I will appoint a public defender. Sir, where do you live?
Permanently, my permanent residence in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, how long are you here in Orlando for?
Here,
Yes.
until 30th, I'm leaving Miami to New York. From New York, 2nd of July. Going back home.
Okay, I'll appoint a public defender to assist you. I do find probable cause. I'm going to state, are you okay with me staying the bonds, or do you want me to double since he's out of area?
Your Honor, given that he has no history, so it's okay with you staying the bond.
So your bond amount total is $600. You're to have no contact with the victim, and you're not to possess any weapons. I also need you to write down your permanent address, give it to your attorney, and she'll go ahead and file it with the court. Thank you. Vernell Anderson is next. All right, thank you. Vernell Anderson, Mr. Anderson, you were arrested for petty theft. Do you need a lawyer to help you with these cases?
Yes, ma'am.
In case 2022 MM 4068, a probable cause has been found for theft that occurred on April 11th. In the second case, there was probable cause for a June 10th theft. In each of those cases, your bond is $500. I'll stay those bonds. You're also already out on bond and have a lawyer in 2022 CF 2825 for fleeing and attempting to elude. I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond. Your trial is set for July 18th. This one here. Collins is next.
You I him on both his cases, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I stayed and then revoked.
Okay.
Are you Mr. Collins? Mr. Collins, you're here for a trespass charge that occurred at Wawa. State time served?
Your Honor, state didn't convey one because he just pled to the same offense approximately 2 weeks ago, and it was also a bench plea.
Okay. Mr. Collins, you're here for a charge of petty theft. It occurred at Wawa.
Oh, ma'am, I didn't know. That's not my case. I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Saprente Collins.
Okay.
It's at the link station.
I'm sorry, strike that. You had a trespass charge that occurred at a Lynx bus stop.
Yes.
At this time, I'm going to go ahead and convey an offer. Because you were just released on a prior similar charge, it's a 7-day offer. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your trespass charges? Do you want a lawyer, yes or no?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender, 7 days, no return.
Your Honor, he would like to accept the 7-day offer with an interplea of no contest.
Sir, how do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And, sir, do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
If you agree to the terms of that plea form, you can go ahead and sign it. At this time, I'll go ahead and adjudicate you guilty, sentencing you to 7 days with credit for 2, no return to the Lynx bus station, pay your court costs within 1 year. That concludes your case. Thank you. What's your name, sir?
Kenny Mason.
What is it?
Kenny Mason.
Mr. Mason, you're here in case number 2022 MM 4289AO. You were arrested for a charge of battery. I do find probable cause. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'm going to stay the bond at $500. No contact with the victim. If you see her, you need to leave. and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Marino is next, case number 2022 MM4196. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges for battery? What is your name?
Sergio.
Is your last name Moreno?
Who do I have a battery on?
Sir, let's go ahead and kind of ask, are you Sergio Moreno?
Yes.
You were arrested for a charge of battery. The alleged victim is last name Cruz for throwing food at said victim at the Lynx bus station. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yeah, I don't think I'm not the right person. I didn't do none of that stuff.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case to prove that you didn't do this? Yes or no?
If I didn't do that stuff, why would you give me a lawyer? I mean, I didn't do none of that. You
All right.
got the wrong guy.
You are entitled to a monetary bond. I'm going to set your bond at $700. Based on your alleged criminal history, I'm setting your bond at $1,000. You're to have no contact with the victim and no return to any Lynx property, no weapons.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
throw no food at nobody. You got the wrong guy.
That concludes your case. Good afternoon, sir. Austin Peterson is next.
Hey, when do I have another court? When do I have another court?
Austin Peterson, good afternoon. Are you Mr. Peterson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peterson, you were arrested for loitering and prowling. Do you need a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'll stay the bond at $500 with the condition that you not return to the scene of the crime. Good luck to you, Mr. Peterson. No. Akeem Woods is next.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, are you Mr. Woods?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
You have two cases, I'm sorry, strike that. State, is this a time served offer?
Yes, Your Honor, it was an adjudication, credit time served, no return on both.
You were arrested for charges of resisting officer without violence and open container of alcohol. Your bond total, I would reduce your bond, but if you want to close out your cases today, it's a time served offer with convictions. And I would just do one court cost. Would you like to resolve your cases today?
Yes, ma'am.
With or without a lawyer?
Without.
Okay, I'll ask you some questions. If you don't understand, let me know. How do you plead a resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And how do you plead to open container of alcohol?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am. What type of charges are those?
They're both misdemeanors. Well, one's a misdemeanor, one's a city ordinance violation. Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Understood.
And if you were on probation at the time you committed these crimes, by pleading today, your probation would be violated.
Okay.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
There's a paper in front of you. It's the plea form. If you agree to the terms, please sign it. I did see him sign it in open court. You're adjudicated guilty as to both of these charges. I will time serve you and give you 1 year to pay your court costs, and I'll do just one court cost. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tequila Austin. Case number 22 MM2852. If you want her to plea later on this week, see if she can get the, I've messaged Mr. Petro at your office and Ms. Gong at the state. If she gets her her testing done as required by statute, I'll do a time served plea.
Okay.
Just reach out to my Jay to work it out. I'll enter a plea if not guilty. Find a waiver of her appearance. Can I have a court date? Oh, that's not an arraignment. Mine, 63. PTC. Thank you. Denise Airy. Good morning. You were arrested for soliciting without permit. These facts amount to panhandling. It's a time-served plea offer. Would you like to accept that?
Yes, I would.
Do you need to talk to a lawyer?
No, I don't.
How do you plead to the charge of soliciting without permit? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, they have not.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, I do.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, I do.
There should be a plea form in front of you. Once you've read it and agreed to it, go ahead and sign it.
Okay, thank you. Right here.
So for the record, she signed it in open court. I'll go ahead and adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served, which is 2 days. I'll give you 1 year to pay back your court costs. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
Douglas Scott Mall.
Mr. Mull, you're here for a charge of soliciting without permit. It is a time-served offer, and I would adjudicate you guilty in order you comply with any reporting conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
However, you have an out-on-bond case for failure to report as a sexual offender. If you plead to the panhandling charge, I will take no action on your out-on-bond. Do you need a lawyer? Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
I don't understand. I'm
So-
not out on bond.
You haven't.
All that was done.
Okay. Everything you say is being recorded. You have an open case. You're Douglas Scott Mull, correct?
Yes.
For failure to report as a sexual offender. Even though you satisfied those requirements when you're released from jail, you still have open charges where you need to see a judge. I can revoke your release on that. Do you want me to appoint a lawyer? She's standing right next to you to talk to you about this.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
understand.
I'll appoint the public defender. I'll give you a moment. Counsel, does Mr. Mull want
No
to proceed?
contest.
Sir, how do you plead to the charge of soliciting without permit, guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated? If you were on probation at the time you committed this offense yesterday, by pleading today and saying no contest, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a criminal history that includes doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated, under the laws of the state, you would be subject to civil commitment under these laws. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a plea form in front of you. Go ahead and read it. If you agree to the terms, please sign it. I'll adjudicate him guilty, sentence him to time served, giving him 1 year to pay on these charges, and I'll take no action in Osceola case. PD, did you do that as a friend of the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Jason Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brown, you're here for new charges for driving under the influence and refusal to submit to blood alcohol testing. Do you want a public defender? Do you plan to represent yourself or hire your own attorney? We're talking about just the DUI and refusal.
Defender, ma'am.
What?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. I'll stay both the bonds. Your bond total is $1,000. However, you do have a private attorney in case 2022, MM2168 for false misuse of 911 call. One of the conditions when you're out on bond is that you not get arrested or commit any new law violations. So I am going to revoke your release on that and hold you at no bond. Thank you. Reach out to Mr. Ali and let him know you're in jail.
We're not on that case.
Stay. Stay. Yeah, just stay. The next person is Javian Santiago.
Bonded.
After that is Ryan Fowler.
Bonded.
Brittany Kirkland.
Bonded.
What's your name, ma'am?
Christine Colleen.
Okay, hold on one moment. Leslie Rodriguez.
Bonded.
Ma'am, good morning. Your last name is Elmani? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case number 2022 CF7676. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, I do.
I do find probable cause. Defense, do you want me to waive reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll go ahead and waive reading. But you also, since I find probable cause on that, you are entitled to bond. I'm setting that bond at $7,500 with the condition that you have no contact with anybody under the age of 18. So there is a bond increase amount. You're also already out on, you have a probation case in Marion County. The officers have treated this as an on-view violation of probation. You can confer with your attorney. They can assist you while you're in the Orange County Jail.
Your Honor, State would also ask for no return to that apartment in the new law offense.
I'm just gonna do the no contact, because I don't know whose apartment that was. Jacob Brower's next.
So call the attorney.
Freddie Cannon. Are you Freddie Cannon?
Yes.
2022 CF7390. You're here for burglary of conveyance and possession of MDMA. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case? Do you want a public defender? All right, I'll appoint them. I do find probable cause. Count 1, I'll stay the bond. On count 2, I'll modify to 150. No return to the scene of the crime. Thank you. Brandon Cooper's next. Are you Mr. Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cooper, do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. State any objection to monetary bond on count 1 of the felony case?
No, Your Honor, he is otherwise entitled to it. However, it is an F2, and according to the warrant, it apparently has happened several times at this point, so State would just ask that you take that into account when setting bond.
All right. Defense, do you want to be heard on any release conditions?
Cooper, Your Honor, he qualifies for pretrial release. I don't see any convictions on his record. I would ask for pretrial release in this case.
Okay, in 2022 CF 6286, you were arrested for shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling or structure. I will set bond in that amount, in the amount of $20,000. No contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. No contact with any occupants of that home as well. Count 2, criminal mischief. I'll modify that bond to $150. You were also picked up another charge for resisting officer without violence. It's unrelated, so I will stay that bond at $500, denying the request for pretrial release. Yes. Greene is next. Otterway Greene.
Thank you.
Are you Mr. Greene?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Greene, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your charges for aggravated assault with a firearm. I do find probable cause. I will give you a bond of $2,500. You're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons do need to be surrendered to local law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail, and you're to have no contact with the victim of this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Since this case, you have to go.
Sorry.
Until the case is over. Sheriff's office. You have to return it over to the sheriff's office. Did you give him a certain time, Your Honor?
With 4 hours.
Okay, 4 hours from release.
After that is Lamont Hall.
Because of the crime, you have to turn it over until it's over.
All right.
Mr. Hall, case number 2022 CF 7387AO. I will appoint the services of the public defender to help him. I find probable cause for both attempted kidnapping with a firearm and attempted carjacking. State, any objection to $50,000 and $25,000 bond respectively?
No, Your Honor, I believe that's reasonable.
Okay. Defense, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. 50 and 25,000. No contact with the victims or any witnesses, no return to the scene of the crime, and do not possess any weapons. And are you waiving?
I will waive, Your Honor.
Thank you, defense. After that, we have Teresa Harris. Ms. Harris, good afternoon. Sorry for the wait. You're here for a charge of burglary of a dwelling as well as criminal mischief. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, I do.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. State any objection to me modifying count 1 bond to $3,500?
No, Your Honor.
On count 1, I'll modify the bond to $3,500. No return. On count 2, I'll stay the bond. You're also, your public defender can explain what all that means. Thank you. Alyssa Hernandez is next. Bonded. Aaron Macomb is next. On Aaron Macomb, case number 2020, thank you. On case number 2022 CF 7403, DU burglary, armed burglary of a structure or conveyance, and grand theft of a fire extinguisher. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Count 1, I'll stay the bond. Count 2, I'll modify to subsidiary bond in the amount of $150. No return to the scene of the crime. Defense counsel, are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Case number 2022 CF 7377, Nashley Mary Morales Gonzalez. All right, appoint the services of the public defender. I'll go ahead and find probable cause. On count 2, modify the bond to $150. Defense, are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Total bond is now $2,150. Inia Nijab? And, thank you. Luis Rivera? Come on up, Mr. Rivera. Thanks for your patience. Mr. Rivera, you missed your court date in case number 2021 CF 9268 for possession of Eulatone. You're now being held at no bond. You already have a public defender in.
This a mistake. I went to court on the 15th, postponed my stuff, and they saying I missed the court date. Y'all wrong. I went to court. I got postponed in on the 15th. I did show up. So where does warrant come from? I went to court on the 15th. They told me postponed on the 27th, and I got arrested saying I failed. That's not true, miss.
What time did you go to court?
9 o'clock in the morning, it's supposed to be the day, but I went on the 15th to postpone it for the day. So something wrong. I did go. I was there. And I got a new attorney, a new judge, I knew everything. So where this failure period come from? Like I was there.
Your Honor, I have the failure to appear on the 9th.
What?
I have it for the 9th.
What I showed. All right. So you'll be held at no bond on that. Defense counsel, he also has another court date. Maybe he's mixing things up. In case number 2021 CF 14472 for possession of cocaine and introduction of contraband into a county facility. Do you want me to revoke his bond and give him a new low bond so he can get credit on those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll revoke his release on all charges in 2021 CF 14472AO. I'll give him a new bond of $100 per count. Your attorney will explain what all that means.
Did you take no action on the out on bond, Your Honor?
No, on the out on bond, I'm revoking it at motion of defense counsel and setting it at $100 per count.
Okay, thank you.
Ariana Smith. Are you Miss Smith? Yes. Miss Smith, you were arrested for felony charges of petty theft of $100 or more and scheme to defraud. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? Do you want a public defender? Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. Ask her if she wants monetary bond or PTR.
Your Honor, a monetary bond, she can afford, 500 on each count, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll set bond at, $500, $500 per count. No return to the scene of the crime. The next person I'm addressing is Jerome Wilkerson.
Outside medical?
All right, I find probable cause in case 22 CF 7380 and 2022 CF 7179. I'll go ahead and stay on count, for burglary of an occupied dwelling, count 1, I'll stay the bond. For count 2, I'll modify that bond to $150. For the petty theft with 2 prior convictions, I'll maintain all the stay all the conditions and stay that bond at $3,500. Defense counsel, your office represents him in his 2 out on bonds. I'm going to revoke his release and hold him at no bond on both of those cases. Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Diana Wilson. Wow. And what about Rennell Wilson? Mr. Wilson, you're here for, you're already out on bond for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Then you're here on new charges. Do you want a public defender to help you with your new charges?
My new charges, I was trying to see, like, because they didn't test the drugs and then.
Well, it just happened. So do you need, you might be saying things that can be used against you. You do have the right to remain silent. I am asking you some basic questions. Do you need a public defender? If you feel you can't afford an attorney, I can see if you qualify for a public defender. I have an attorney standing right next to you. Do you want a lawyer? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
I wanted to see about getting some type of legal representation, but I also
Some kind of what?
legal representation. But I wanted to speak with.
Okay, so here are your options. 1, I can reset your case for first appearance tomorrow to give you time to telephone your own private attorney.
That's
2, if you feel you can't afford an attorney, I can see if you qualify for a public defender. I have one standing next to you right now and we can do this case.
Is it possible I could qualify for something like pretrial release or?
No, I'm going to deny that request.
Or what about?
So let's talk about the attorney. Do you want to do your case now? Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want a public defender, or do you want time to hire your own attorney and I'll see you back in court tomorrow?
I want.
Okay, so what are we doing, Mr. Wilson?
Do you want, but she's asking, do you want a PD or are you going to try to private attorney?
Yes, I want legal representation.
Do you plan to hire your own attorney, or do you want to see if you qualify for a public defender? 2 different, and I know that you've come to court a few times before, so this isn't new to you.
But this time it's like,
All right, so I'll go ahead and reset your case till tomorrow, so you can hire your own attorney. All conditions will be stayed until then. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
can we recall a case from earlier, please? From
Which
the
one?
DV section?
The what? The DV section?
Yes, from first session.
Oh, okay, hold on a moment. Thank you, Jeff. Kevin Blotzer, it was a battery, and I believe it, if memory serves me correctly, it was a family, his father or brother?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what am I doing in case 20, what's your request in 22 MM 356?
It says do not return to the scene. Do we have to maintain separate residence? The defendant lives with the mother at that house where it happened, and the brother has a
State any objection to me modifying it to I'll stay the condition of no contact but maintain separate residence.
No, Your Honor.
Go ahead and do that. Do you want me to give this to? Anything else you need from me? All right, court is adjourned. Anything else from the state
No, Your Honor.
and defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
We do this.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ricardo Morales, Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Mr., can you sound check the podium, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm there's connection.
2022 MM4286. Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Maria Fatima Bolino. Fatima Bolinao.
Maria Apima Boliniao.
You're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. It is a misdemeanor offense. Is Mark Bellenou present? No response. If I told you, Ms. Bellenou, that you cannot live with your husband while this case is going on, or until another judge changes it, where would you live? Or who would you live with?
Con una amiga.
With a friend.
All right, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. You cannot have any contact with your husband while this case is going on. You also may not return to your marital home. You can go back one time, but you must call the police department, tell them that you need an escort to your home because you have a battery charge, to collect your belongings, and you're also not allowed to have any weapons. Ms. Bellenou, I'm going to appoint a public defender. She does not speak Spanish. She's given you a phone number. She will give you a phone number. Please call their number within 1 day of being released from jail. I'm putting you on pretrial release, so you don't have to post any bond. Thank you, ma'am. Is Evelyn Viola present? No response. Take off the headset. Next case is 2022 MM4277. Sir, what is your name?
Alain William Lopez Casorla.
Alain Julian Lopez.
Do you live with the victim of this crime, Evelyn?
Sí.
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to release you on pretrial release. You're to have no contact with Evelyn. You cannot go back to the home where she can stay. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're also not to have any weapons. Mr. Lopez, do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case? Yes or no?
Yes.
She'll give you her phone number. She does not speak Spanish. Please call their office within 1 day of being released from jail to arrange for an appointment. Thank you.
I also believe DCF was called in this case as there was a child present.
Your request?
¿Puedo decir algo, por favor?
Can I say something?
Sir, all of your statements are being recorded and can be used against you. It is generally not advisable, but what would you like to tell me?
Mr. Interpreter, I would advise that the client not talk about the facts of the case. I've given a phone number. He could call and speak with the attorney one-on-one about any defenses he may have.
Would you still like to say anything, sir?
Yo no tengo para dónde ir, esa es mi casa.
I have nowhere to go. That's my home.
Well, you're not allowed to live there anymore. Not until a judge tells you otherwise. Talk to your attorney and see what can be done. Like I said, call their office. You can only go back one time. Call the police department to make those arrangements. Do not go there without a police officer. Thank you. Your case is over. I'll comply with DCF. Atilio Perez Maldonado, 2022 MM 276 AA. Mr. Interpreter, I'm going to ask you to broadcast. I have a witness present.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez Maldonado, good morning. You're here for a crime of battery.
Buenos días, señor Maldonado Pérez. Usted se encuentra aquí por una acusación de agresión física.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
¿Usted requiere de un abogado para que le asista con su caso?
Yes or no?
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender. She does not speak Spanish.
Voy a designarle a una abogada de la Oficina de Defensores Públicos. Ella no habla el idioma español.
Ma'am, please tell me what your name is.
Señora, por favor, indíqueme su nombre despacio y en voz alta.
Emilia Galicia Cepedas.
Emilia Galicián Cepedas.
Do you need a Spanish interpreter?
¿Usted requiere el servicio de un intérprete en español, señora?
Sí.
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Por favor, levante la mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura solemnemente que el testimonio que prestará el día de hoy será la verdad y toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad, lo jura ante Dios.
Sí, lo juro ante Dios.
Yes, I swear to God.
How do you know, you can put your hand down.
Puede bajar la mano.
How do you know Mr. Perez?
¿Cómo conoce usted al señor Pérez?
Pues es una buena persona.
Well, he's a good guy.
How do you know him? What is your relationship with him?
¿Cómo lo conoce usted a él? ¿Cuál es su relación para con el señor Pérez?
Pues somos pareja.
Well, we're a couple.
Do you live together?
¿Ustedes conviven?
Sí.
Yes.
And how long have you been living together?
¿Por cuánto tiempo han vivido juntos?
8 meses.
8 months.
Do you want to have contact with him?
¿Usted quiere mantener contacto con él?
Yes or no?
Sí.
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
State and defense, do you have any questions?
Fiscalía y defensa, ¿tienen ustedes alguna pregunta?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Miss,
No por parte de la fiscalía, no por parte de la defensa.
are you in fear of him, ma'am?
Señora, ¿acaso usted le teme a él?
No.
No.
Mr. Perez, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $250.
Señor Pérez, vamos a fijar su fianza en $250.
You are no longer allowed to drink alcohol or use any illegal drugs while this case is going on.
Usted no puede consumir ningún tipo de drogas o alcohol mientras este caso se encuentra pendiente.
I'm ordering no hostile contact. You cannot do anything to harm or scare your girlfriend.
Le ordeno una orden de no contacto. No puede hacer nada que asuste o que amenace a su novia.
The woman next to you is a lawyer. She circled her phone number.
La persona a su lado es una abogada. Ella le proveyó a usted un número de teléfono.
Call their office within 1 day of being released from jail.
Una vez quede puesto en libertad, llame ese mismo día a la oficina legal.
Mr. Perez, do you have any questions for me?
Señor Pérez, ¿acaso tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Como me dijo de no tener contacto con ella, eso no lo entendí muy bien. Al salir
you
yo,
said about
¿puedo estar con ella o cómo está?
That thing that you said about no contact, I did not understand that very well. So when I get out of jail, I cannot contact her, or how does that work?
You can go back and live together, but you were not to do anything harmful or scary.
Usted puede regresar a vivir a la residencia, pero no puede tomar ninguna acción que sea amenazante o que le asuste a ella.
If you feel angry, you should step away.
Si usted se siente molesto, usted tiene que alejarse de la propiedad.
Ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
Señora, ¿acaso tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
No, gracias.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Your bond is $250. That's everything for the Spanish interpreter. You can go ahead and disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're waiting on another interpreter using language line. Does Wesley Mondesir need an interpreter too? Rio? Okay, we're going to pass that case as well. We're getting them online. So Mondesir and Lee, we're passing on. Moving on to Kevin Mackel. State, do you have a,
The state wasn't able to obtain additional affidavit, Your Honor.
good morning, please tell me your name.
Kevin Lewis on McCall.
Mr. McCall, I'm here on case 2022 CF 7331. What says defense?
Your Honor, given that the state could not provide an additional supplement, I would ask that you find no PC and ROR as to the grant theft.
Based on a prior finding of no probable cause and no supplementals, I'll go ahead and grant that release for ROR. Thank you, Mr. McCall. Your attorney will explain what that means. Moving on to Lisbeth Bareas. Ma'am, what is your name?
Lisbeth Barajas.
You're here in case 2022 CF 7400AO for charges of criminal mischief, battery, domestic violence, and battery. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause. You are entitled to bond. On the battery, domestic violence, I'll set the following bond amounts. On count 1, I'll set the bond at $150. On count 2, set the bond at $500. Count 3, set the bond at $100. Your total bond is $750. Ma'am, you're to have no contact with any of the victims. You're not to possess any weapons. If you and any of the victims live together, I will allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. Anything else, state or defense?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
If you do have weapons, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to Lee. What button do I press to make that happen? Hello, do I have the interpreter online?
This is the interpreter.
What language are you prepared to interpret with?
Vietnamese.
Okay, I'll break everything up. This is for a court proceeding. And please interpret to her. And state and defense, if you're going to ask any questions, please make sure that we give her enough time to interpret. Madam Interpreter, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please ask her what her name is.
Thưa bà tên gì? Hương Lê.
You were arrested for a crime of battery.
Thưa bà đã bị bắt về cái tội hình ẩu đả.
It is related to a family or domestic matter.
Cái này có liên hệ tới một người trong cái vấn đề gia đình.
Sir, what is your name?
I'm Jeffrey A. Harper.
Please interpret.
Thưa ông tên gì?
Jeffrey, are you married to Miss Lee?
Yes.
Jeffrey, có phải là ông có gia đình với bà Lê không? Dạ vâng.
I'm going to ask you questions in English, but I need time to have it interpreted. So please wait on your answer.
Tôi hỏi ông một cái câu hỏi bằng tiếng Anh, thì ông để thì giờ cho cái câu đó được dịch lại.
Are you in fear of Miss Lee?
Ông có sợ bà Lê không?
Yes or no?
Very difficult to answer.
Cái đó rất là khó trả lời.
Not normally.
Do you want her to return home?
Ông có muốn bà ấy trở về nhà không?
I want your advice, actually.
I'm a judge. I cannot give you any marital advice or any legal advice.
Tôi là một người thẩm phán. Tôi không có thể cho ông những cái lời cố vấn.
If you are in fear of her, I can order no contact. If you don't have any fears, sorry.
Nếu mà ông sợ bà ấy thì chúng tôi sẽ cho một cái lệnh không có được liên lạc.
If you do have fears about your safety and well-being at her hands, I can order no contact and no return home.
Nếu mà ông có cái sợ vậy thì chúng tôi sẽ cho một cái lệnh là không có được liên lạc và không có được trở về nhà.
But ultimately, this case can take a while to resolve, and you can speak with the lawyers and advocate at the state attorney's office later on today.
Okay. So.
Cái hồ sơ này cần phải có một cái thời gian dài lâu. Thành ra ông có thể nói chuyện với văn phòng luật sư biện lý sau ngày hôm nay.
Am I ready?
Sir, would you like contact or no contact?
So.
Thưa ông muốn liên lạc hay không liên lạc?
I never wanted her here. I'm willing to have her come home. I'd love her to come home. I'm worried for her own safety. It's not normal.
Miss Lee, your husband wants you to be able to return home and be released from jail for the charge of conspiracy to commit battery. Would you like to be released and go home?
I want to go home with my husband.
Please speak in the language, the Vietnamese interpreter.
Tôi muốn về nhà với chồng của tôi và các con.
I would like to go home with my husband, to my husband and the children.
Miss Lee, I'm going to order no hostile contact.
Thưa bà Lê, tôi sẽ cho lệnh là bà không có những cái sự
If you if you feel angry or like you might react, please walk away.
Nếu mà bà giận dữ hay là nghĩ là bà có thể làm một cái gì đó thì bà cần phải bỏ đi.
You're not to do anything to harm, threaten, or intimidate him.
Bà không có được làm bất cứ cái gì mà có thể nguy hại cho ông ấy.
And you're not allowed to have any weapons.
Và bà sẽ không có được có vũ khí.
Mr. Harper, are you satisfied with those conditions? Hold on.
Ông Harper, ông có hài lòng với những cái tình trạng đó không?
Yes.
You'll be released on pretrial release, Ms. Lee.
Bà sẽ được thả ra dựa trên cái phần sẽ được ra tòa.
That means you do not need to post a bond, but you need to check in
Nghĩa là
once a
bà-
month.
Có nghĩa là bà không có cần phải đặt tiền thế chân, nhưng mà bà cần phải kiểm lại với chúng tôi 1 tháng 1 lần.
Are you having a hard time understanding the conditions that I've explained in English and that's been translated to you?
Bà có gặp khó khăn gì hiểu cái tình trạng mà tôi đã giải thích cho bà và đã được dịch lại cho bà hay không?
Tôi cần hiểu cái câu cuối cùng nói về đặc quyền hay gì đó, tôi chưa nghe rõ cái đó.
I need to understand the last sentence that you said.
I think it was about checking.
Mr. Harper,
Yes.
can your family afford a $100 bond?
Yes.
Ông Harper, gia đình ông có thể chịu được $100 tiền thế chân hay không? Dạ được.
I'm going to set your bond, I'm going to change my mind and set your bond for $100. If you get
Tôi
a
thay
court,
đổi ý định.
go ahead.
Tôi sẽ đặt cái tiền thế chân của bà là $100.
If that bond is, but you still can do nothing to harm your husband or have any weapons.
Nhưng mà bà vẫn cần phải không có được làm bất cứ cái gì để mà làm hại chồng bà.
Your paperwork will have a court date on it. You must appear at that next court date.
Giấy tờ của bà sẽ có cái ngày tòa tới, bà cần phải trình diện.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Thank you, Mr. Harper.
Thank
Cảm
you,
ơn
Judge.
bà Lê, cảm ơn ông Harper.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Harper, I'm giving you a card with the case number. It'll be through this little slot, and you can call someone at the state attorney's office.
Okay, Treasurer Moore. Oh. Pass on Ms. Moore. Stand by. Let's go ahead and do Wesley Mondesir. Already online? Good morning. Is this the Creole interpreter?
Yes, good morning.
Do you solemnly swear to interpret from English and to Creole and Creole to English to the best of your abilities for this court hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Sir, please tell me your name.
Wesley Mondesir.
S'il vous plaît, dis-moi non.
Mr. Mondesir, do you speak English?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that you, hold on. Madam Interpreter, please interpret that because of his prior interactions with the jail and the police, we will use a Creole interpreter. You're to interpret and he's to respond in Creole. Please interpret.
À cause de interaction à la prison avec policiers officiers yo, moi vle c'est sa raison que n'a utilisé un interprète qui parle créole haïtien. S'il vous plaît, répondre en créole, et tant interprète là parler en trans interprète message là et puis on va répondre en créole.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Est-ce que vous avez besoin d'un avocat pour qui aider avec là?
No.
Please, sir, you were arrested for robbery, criminal mischief, and battery domestic violence.
Monsieur, vous avez arrêté ou pour voler, et puis il était arrêté pour domestic battery.
No.
Ma'am, you'll need to interpret what he says back.
He says no.
Yes, you were, and I find probable cause.
Oui, il était arrêté pour ça et moi je une cause là.
Perhaps because of your lack of understanding of the English language, I will appoint a public defender.
Est-ce que à cause que ou pas comprendre anglais à bien, moi abaou un avocat public.
I'm setting bond at $1,000 on count 1. Oh, sorry.
Moi mettez prix bon nan à $1,000 pour nous compter pour un.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Sophia.
Madame Kino.
Miss Charles, do you need a Creole interpreter?
Madame Charles, est-ce que vous avez besoin d'un interprète créole?
Yes.
Yes.
Answer in Creole, please.
Répondre en créole, s'il vous plaît.
Okay.
Are you in fear of Mr. Mondesir?
Est-ce que vous inquiétez ou bien ou peur, Monsieur Mondésir?
No.
No.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Est-ce que vous voulez rester en contact ensemble avec lui?
Oui.
Yes.
Are you in fear of him?
Est-ce que vous peur lui?
No.
No.
Mr. Mondesir, I'm setting the following bonds. $1,000 for the robbery.
Monsieur Mondésir, moi mettez bon nom avec $1,000 pour ak voler.
S'il vous plaît.
$150 for the criminal mischief.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay.
Please speak in Creole.
S'il vous plaît, parlez en créole.
Okay, so monsieur pas volé, il juste écrasé téléphone, moi de moi les police pour remettre mon téléphone, moi monsieur pas nan volé, pas nan rien, seulement ça moi arrêté monsieur.
It wasn't a robbery. Mr. Mondésir didn't steal anything. He just broke my phone, and I called the police for him, please, to give me back the money for the phone.
Thank you for that information.
Merci pour l'information.
For the criminal mischief, I'm setting bond at $150.
Pour criminal mischief là, moi mettez bon là à $150.
For the battery, your bond is $100.
Et puis pour ak batterie, mettez bon là $100.
Your total bond is $1,250. Defense, please, not when I don't want to lose time with the translator. You're to have no hostile contact with your girlfriend.
Total bon nan vini avec $1,250, faire ou pas gen contact du tout avec ménage.
And you're not to have any weapons.
Et ou pas supposé gen zam.
I appointed a public defender. She will give you their office phone number.
Excuse me.
Moi ba ou un avocat public qui gen pour contacter nan numéro téléphone ça.
Call their office within 1 day of being released.
Releli office li nan 1 jour après que you fin lage.
Yes, Ms. Carter, what is your question?
Oui, Madame Carter. Qui question gagne?
Si moun n'a pas fait crime, pour qui ça yo pour lui mettre dans prison et c'est monsieur qui aide me payer bill, so m'gen de ti moun ensemble avec.
If the person has not committed any crime, why was the person arrested and being put in prison? Because one that helped Bill.
Ma'am, he can consult with his lawyer, or you can consult with the public defender's office when they reach out to you. I cannot give you legal advice.
Madame, moi pas ka ba ou idée légale. c'est pour contacter, c'est pour le temps, les avocats publics la contacter li, ou même, ou ka jeune un avocat public pour poser question ça.
Thank you. This will conclude the case.
Merci, qu'on y a nous fini avec ka.
Good question.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Se mon cas toujours parle ensemble avec.
Interpreter is asking for a repetition, a clarification. Ou ka besoin parler à qui mon?
Où est-ce qu'il monte déjà?
I would like to speak with Mr. Mondesir.
You can do so after he's released from jail, or he can call you. Thank you. The case is over.
Thank you.
Ou parler avec lui, li la gel dans prison, ou bien li relo. Merci, ka fini.
Thank you. That'll conclude the use of a Creole interpreter. Defense counsel, thanks for your patience. With the interpreter, too much going on. I'm sorry for your wait.
You're
What is
welcome.
You can go ahead and disconnect, Madam Interpreter. Are you Miss Moore?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Miss Moore. You're here for a crime of aggravated battery with a weapon and battery domestic violence. State, where does it say the relationship between the victim and defense in this affidavit? I find a battery and an aggravated battery, but I don't even have a witness page that shows the address. While the state is looking for information, Ms. Moore, do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services. What says the state?
The only place I see it, Your Honor, is on the second page with the paragraph that starts on June 26th. It's the witness's testimony. He witnessed his neighbor, defendant Moore, yelling with her boyfriend victim.
So I don't know if this is domestic. It doesn't say enough there. Any objection to me finding probable cause to aggravated battery and battery non-domestic and just proceeding with the same conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense, are you in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you are entitled to bond down on the charge of aggravated battery with domestic violence. I'm setting your bond at $1,500. For the charge of battery, your bond is $100. So your total bond is $1,600. Do you live with the alleged victim?
No.
Okay, you're to have no contact with the victim whatsoever. You're not to return to where the victim lives, works, or is known to frequent, and you're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail, and no contact with any witnesses. Your defense attorney will give you any other information you need. Thank you, Ms. Moore. Joshua Nash, 22 CF 7396. Mr. Nash, you're here for a charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation, as well as battery. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Here's the conditions of your release and the bond. I'm setting your bond at $1,500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. So your total bond is $1,600. You're to have no contact with your wife. You cannot contact her even for the purposes of any family members. You're not allowed to return to the residence where this occurred. I will make an exception, a one-time return, as long as you're accompanied by a police officer, and you're not to own any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail, and you're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or use any illegal drugs. Your attorney can further advise you. Thank you, Mr. Nash. After that, we have Kevin Blotzer. Mr. Blotzer, good morning. Case number 2022-MM356. You were arrested for battery. Mr. Blotzer, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Do you and your brother live together?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to order that you be placed on pretrial release. That means you'll need to check in once a month, but you will not need to post a monetary bond. You're to have no contact with your brother while this case is going on. You can't go to where he lives or works. If you happen to see him out, it's your responsibility to leave. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Based on your history, I'm also ordering no alcohol or any drug use. Speak with your public defender. She gave you her office number. Thanks.
Okay.
Karen Empinado.
It's my copy.
Ma'am, tell me what your name is. Ma'am, you're here for a new charge, case number 2022 MM42748. You were also arrested. You also previously had a case for no valid driver's license, which is also a criminal matter. One of the conditions on that case is that you commit no new law violations. I'm going to give you a bond condition or some kind of release condition on your battery domestic violence charge. Let me hear from the victim. But you're not entitled to bond on the no valid DL, meaning you could potentially sit here. If you have questions, let me know if you need an attorney. But in the alternative, on this no valid DL, if you want to resolve it today, I can withhold adjudication, give you credit time served, and you can pay court costs and close that case out. Do you want to do that?
The new DL, the one that you're talking about, this charge, ma'am, this one is for the previous? This is a previous charge, or this is a charge for?
It's a previous charge.
Yes, ma'am. What would be the resolvement for that case if I want?
Okay, it would be a withhold and court costs, and I would give you up to 1 year to pay those court costs.
If I do resolve this case today, right?
I can't resolve the battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was asking if I do resolve the driving with the no valid license, right?
Right.
I will be able to get a bond on my battery?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that's what gotta happen, then yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of no valid driver's license?
I haven't because we
Okay, so I'm gonna do that today. Guilty means you're admitting you had no driver's license. No contest means you're not admitting it or denying it. You just feel it's in your best interest to finish your case. And not guilty means you want a trial, but you're not necessarily entitled to bond. Do you need a lawyer to help you? How do you plead to the charge of no valid driver's license? And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, by entering a plea of no contest, you will be subject to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation for any past crimes, Ms. Empinato, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And you will not have a trial based on your no contest plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now? Now, she's going to hand you a form. There may have been copies in back for you to read. Do you need more time to read that?
I understand.
All right, go ahead and sign it if you agree to it. As to the charge of no valid driver's license, I'll withhold, I'll give you credit time served, I'll release you on that case and give you 1 year to pay your court costs. Let's go ahead and talk about the battery domestic violence charge. Please raise your right hand, I'll have you sworn in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
What's your name?
Angie Sanchez.
And what is your relationship with the defendant?
She is my girlfriend.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of her?
No.
Do you want her to return home?
Yes, I do.
Were drugs or alcohol involved?
No.
All right, I'll go ahead and, based on your criminal history, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $500. Can you afford that bond?
Yes.
Okay, and you're to have no hostile contact with your girlfriend, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Do you have any questions? Ma'am, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
And do you feel safe with her returning home?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You need to appear for your next court date. It will be on your release paperwork. No PD. What? Larry Holmes.
How many days did she have on a traffic case?
1 day.
Larry Holmes. Mr. Holmes, you were arrested for a charge of battery dating violence in 2022 MM 4287. I do find that there's probable cause. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and point the services of the public defender. It looks like you may live with the victim, so here are the conditions of your release. I'm setting your bond in the amount of $500. You're to have no contact with the victim. You cannot go to where she lives. I'll allow one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer to collect your belongings, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Do you have any questions, Mr. Holmes?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Kuykendall's next, 2022 MM 357 AW. Please tell me your name.
Kennedy Kirkendall.
You're here for a crime of battery dating violence. I do find that there's probable cause. Will you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, please. I don't know.
What?
This is my first time.
So do you need a lawyer? A lawyer's a public defender. If you feel you can't afford an attorney, I can appoint her to help you when she's present in the courtroom.
Yes, please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Do you live with the victim, Brianna Ruiz?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on pretrial release since you have no prior criminal history. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to go to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent, and you're not to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. I'll give you a moment to confer with your lawyer. Thank you.
Your Honor, was this pretrial?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ma'am, tell me what your name is.
Aquanetta Roberts.
Can I have a face sheet for her? Oh, disregard, it was back. Miss Roberts, you were arrested for a crime of battery domestic violence. Would you like a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. Do you and the victim live together?
Yes.
All right, because of there is some criminal history, I'm going to give you a bond. Your bond is $250. You're to have no contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You can go to the home just one time. You must be accompanied by a police officer to collect your belongings. After that, you can't return. And you're not to have any weapons. Weapons are to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Your PD can answer any questions for you. After that, I have Tillman, 2022 MM 4278. Are you Miss Tillman?
Yes.
Ms. Tillman, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence that is a misdemeanor of the first degree. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to assist you with your case?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. She's not going to qualify?
She didn't initially.
All right. Ma'am, because of your lack of ties to Florida, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Can you afford a $500 bond?
No.
Do you live with the victim, Marcus Redding?
No, I do not.
If I release you from jail, where will you live?
We came here for vacation for my birthday.
And Redding is a significant other of yours? Like, are you in a relationship with Mr.?
My children.
He's the father of your children? Okay. I'll do a $500 bond or pretrial release if qualifies. You're to have no contact with Mr. Redding while this case is going on. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons. If you have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to our local police department or within 4 hours of your release when you return to Washington. And your attorney will explain what that means. Thank you. State, for the next case, I have Johnny Terrell. Please let me know if you have a filing decision in 2022 CF 3621AO. He's out on bond. Are you Mr. Terrell?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Terrell, I'm going to be addressing two different cases. You were arrested for a violation of pretrial release for domestic violence. That's case 22 MM 4292AO. But you're already out on bond on an aggravated battery charge on a pregnant person. Do you need a public defender on your new case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause for the violation of pretrial release.
Your Honor, state has not filed on the out on bond yet. However, it is the same victim.
All right. What says defense?
Your Honor, I would ask that given the state has not filed, and it's been since April, Your Honor, that you take no action on bond.
I'm going to go ahead and deny the request. I do have concerns about the safety of the victim and the initial charge. So on the out on bond, I'm going to hold him at no bond with no contact with the victim. In the new case, he is entitled to a bond. I'm going to set that bond at $2,000, no contact with the victim, no weapons, and all prior conditions. Mr. Terrell, your attorney will explain what that means. That concludes your case.
I got a call.
After that is Aaron Worrell.
I called. I don't understand, ma'am. I don't understand.
So you have an attorney. She can go. I'll give her a moment to confer with you, and she can perhaps explain what that means. On Worrell, mental health, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'll give her a moment to.
And Your Honor, I will waive the appearance while you're.
Okay. He is entitled to a bond. I'm going to go ahead and put him.
So I'm stuck in jail?
Yes.
And he is on probation in another case. So let me take a peek at that. Corrections is his Orange County probation case 2021 CF 5149AO.
I'm sorry, what was your question, Your Honor?
The next case I have is Aaron Worrell.
Mm-hmm.
He's on probation. Do you have a case number?
It looks like it's going to be 21 CF 005149AO.
Came up as somebody else. Hold on a second. Okay, I do need her back because I just did that. Oh, there she is. Okay, on Aaron Worrell, you waived his appearance on case number 2022 MM4284AO. I'm going to give him a bond in the amount of $1,000, no contact with the victim, no weapons, surrender any weapons within 4 hours. However, I do find an on-view violation in 2021 CF 5149AO, so I'll hold him at no bond on both of those offenses. What was the age of this victim? Wait a second.
18, Your Honor.
Okay. He'll be at no bond, thanks. And comply with any reporting requirements that have previously been imposed within 24 hours of his release. After that, I have Michael Huey. The VOP. Are you Mr. Huey?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here for a warrant for drug offender probation. It's alleged that you violated your probation on a Brevard County case 19 CF 22319. And you're being held at no bond. I'll appoint a public defender for your time here in the Orange County Jail. And then once you get transported, that'll discharge the services of our public defender. Thank you, Mr. Yui. Jonathan Irizarry. Mr. Irizarry, you're here for a warrant out of Osceola County, Florida for a violation of probation. The underlying offense is battery with a prior. I'll appoint a public defender for while you're here in the Orange County Court Jail. They do share an office in Osceola. You're being held at no bond.
The public defender coming soon or next week or something?
There's one right there. She's giving you paperwork. Akin Thomas is next. Akin, I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Akin, you're here for a warrant out of Leon County, Florida for resisting officer without violence as well as trespass. You're being held at no bond, and I'll appoint a public defender for the times you're in the Orange County Court Jail. Once you get transported, it'll discharge their services. Thank you. All right, let me go ahead and pull up the 33-day motions. Oral Gennaro King, his 33rd day is tomorrow in case 2022 CF 5940AO.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Thank you. After that, I have Keona Reynolds Hudson. That case number and 33rd day was the 8th of this month, 2022 MM 185AA.
Granted, notice and on filing.
After that, I have Nicholas Andrews, 2022 CF 5989AO.
Granted, notice and on filing.
After that, I have the 33rd day being tomorrow on Lantana Cornelius Floyd, case number 2022 CF 6036AO.
Granted, notice and on filing.
I don't have that in the file, but you're saying that it was not filed?
Yes, Your Honor.
After that, I have Enrique Del Vasco, 2022 CF 6003, date tomorrow.
Denied, and information was filed on the 24th.
After that, I have Monica Ray Ferrari, 2022 CF 4861, filed by regional conflict.
Granted, notice and on filing.
State, when was that filed?
This morning, Your Honor, at like 8 a.m.
Okay. After that, I have Ivan Arroyo, 2022 CF 390AO.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Jose Rafael Acevedo Barea, 2022 CF 5811AO.
Granted, and no information notice was filed.
I don't see that it was filed.
A no information notice?
No.
It was on the 24th. I have a filing ID.
Okay, I have a motion for ROR, but based on your statement, I'll go ahead and grant it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Michael Jerome Nelson, 2022 CF 5885.
Granted, notice and on filing.
And Nachandra Kara Williams, 2022 CF 4758.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Thank you. Is there anything else from corrections or Madam Trial Clerk?
No, Your Honor.
Any- just put down PC now. For both counts. All right, how much time does, I don't necessarily want to do a full, quick move-up docket. How much time do you think you all need on your cases?
I already conveyed offers to defense, so state's ready whenever.
Defense as well, Your Honor. Please.
Corrections.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
All right. First case I have is 22MM 1414, okay? I don't know if he speaks Castilian, so you might just have to speak Spanish today, okay?
Your Honor, this is Laura Bretaña.
Oh, okay.
Not Arroyo.
Not Arroyo, okay.
No.
Good. All right. So, sir, good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, please.
Buenas tardes, señor. Por favor, dígame su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Alexander Cribe Hurtado.
¿Me dijo Alexander qué?
Cribe Hurtado.
Alexander Cribe Hurtado.
Sí. Mi fecha de nacimiento 09/23/1988.
And my date of birth is 9/23/1988.
Okay. All right, sir, you're here on one count of battery.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí hoy ante un cargo de agresión física.
I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith in her office to represent you.
Se designa a la licenciada Smith y a la oficina a la cual ella pertenece para que le represente.
I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause for that charge.
Habiendo repasado el documento acusatorio, determino que existen indicios de criminalidad para tal acusación.
So I'm going to order you be released on the following bond.
Así que entonces ordeno su puesta en libertad con las siguientes fianzas.
It's going to be $250 with PTR.
$250 con supervisión del programa de libertad provisional.
I'm going to order you to not possess any weapons.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas.
Let me hear from the state and defense on contact. So we'll start with Ms. Guillen.
En cuanto al contacto, quiero escuchar primero de parte de la Fiscalía y de la Defensa.
Your Honor, based on the injuries the officer observed and the statements by the witnesses, the state would be asking for no contact, especially how recent the events are. The officer observed the victim with dried blood on her torso, swelling and discoloration on her face, and she suffered a large laceration on the bridge of her nose. So at this time, the state would be asking for no contact.
Su señoría, debido a las lesiones recibidas y a lo que fue observado por el agente de las autoridades, la Fiscalía está solicitando que no se le permita el contacto con la víctima en estos momentos. También por lo reciente de la situación, el agente observó que ella tenía sangre seca en la parte superior del cuerpo, que tenía la cara hinchada y con mal color, y también tenía una laceración en la parte superior de la nariz.
Counsel? Ms. Smith?
Your Honor, based upon the charging affidavit, Ms. Sosa Ronda did advise that he did not hit her, he didn't do anything wrong, she did not want any kind of medical treatment, she fell, and so we would ask for no hostile contact.
Su señoría, nosotros estamos solicitando que se le permita el contacto sin hostilidad, porque según el documento acusatorio, la víctima no solicitó cuidado médico, ella indicó que se había caído.
Court order no contact to maintain separate residence.
Se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con la víctima y se le prohíbe también la convivencia con ella.
One-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
Se le permitirá regresar en una ocasión acompañado de las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
All right, and that's it. Thank you.
Y eso es todo. Gracias.
All right. Next one I have is Jose Pimentel Rivera. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Señor, ¿cuál es su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento?
José Ángel Pimentel Rivera, 07-1391.
José Ángel Pimentel Rivera, 7/13/1991.
Louder, just so you know, it's 22 CT 2100.
Thank you.
All right. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you on this matter.
Muy bien, señor, se designa a la licenciada Smith y a la oficina a la cual ella pertenece para que les represente ante esta acusación.
You're here on one count of DUI.
Usted se encuentra aquí ante una acusación de conducir bajo los efectos.
I find there's probable cause for that charge.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad para tal acusación.
Officer Jenkins, any history?
Oficial Jenkins, ¿él tiene antecedentes?
No history here in Florida.
No tiene antecedentes aquí en Florida.
In Puerto Rico, battery and aggravated burglary.
En Puerto Rico tiene un antecedente de agresión física y otro de hurto, robo agravado.
You by chance know when that was?
¿Sabe usted cuándo fue esto?
What I see here, 2019.
De lo que surge de aquí en el 2019.
I'm going to order he be released on direct PTR. No alcohol.
Muy bien, entonces ordeno que sea puesto en libertad bajo el programa de libertad provisional. Señor, se le prohíbe el consumo de alcohol.
You guys can't be moving around when I'm in court. Like, I have trouble concentrating. You guys gotta... No, just PTO, straight PTO. All right. That's the last Spanish language I have. Can you just make an announcement, Lauda, see if anybody else has one?
Algunas de las personas que permanecen en la sala y aún no han sido atendidas necesitan los servicios del intérprete al español.
I don't see anybody. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Lauda.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Maybe you'll hear me from me tomorrow.
Maybe, yes.
Maybe. I got some stories ready.
Yes.
All right. All right.
We'll see.
All right. All right, next one I have is Michael Johnson.
President approaching, Your Honor.
All right. All right, sir, your name and date of birth?
Michael J. Johnson, 12477.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. Judge in that case set your bond at 0, so I'll stay that bond. I'll appoint the PD's office for purposes of assisting in the transport. All right, thank you, sir. All right. Lee West.
She is present. Approaching your room.
Name and date of birth, ma'am? All right, I'm going to appoint, well, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County, Florida. Judge, in that case, set your bond at 0. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender for purposes of assisting in the transport. We'll let Marion County know. All right, thank you. I got Israel Xavier Cologne. Sir, name and date of birth, please.
Israel Xavier Cologne, 12/15/91.
All right, Mr. Cologne, you're here on a violation of probation. I find there's probable cause. I'm going to set your bond at 0. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you on this. Thank you. Lorenzo Greene.
Yes, President. Approaching your honor.
And Ms. Smith, the victim's here as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, your name and date of birth, please. All right, can you get a little closer to that mic, please?
Lorenzo Greene, 8491.
Great, thank you. Mr. Greene, you're here on a warrant. I found probable cause for aggravated battery. I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you on this case. Ma'am, what's your name?
Kanisha McCowan.
All right, ma'am, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. So it's important that green, or not that green circle, that little circle on the top there, that's the mic. They can only see me, they can hear you, so you're going to make sure you project your voice into that, okay? All right, so I already found probable cause. We're only here to talk about the conditions of release. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and the attorneys may ask you a couple questions, okay?
Okay.
Do you wish to have contact with Mr. Greene?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish for him to, do you guys live together?
No.
Okay. If something like this were to happen again, would you call law enforcement?
Nothing happened.
Okay. Okay. State?
One moment, Your Honor. Ms. McCowan, would you agree that you suffered some serious injuries from this incident?
No, not from this incident. It was an ATV accident. It was not from him. I went to the hospital and I was very intoxicated before I even got to the hospital. They gave me a medication. I don't even remember anything about the hospital, like at all. Like, I don't know what was said, what I might have said, but we were out drinking, riding ATVs.
Probably not a good combo.
Huh?
Probably not a good combo to drink and ride ATV.
Never again, never again. And I'm getting too old for that.
Ms. McCowan, Ms. McCowan, when you went to the hospital for this incident, did you provide that the defendant caused your injuries that day?
I have no idea what I might have said. I'm telling you, I was very intoxicated. So literally, I don't remember the hospital. And I fell off an ATV. Well, it like tumbled. Like my head was like not. Okay. Like, I'm pretty sure I had a concussion or something. Like, I do not remember anything. I vaguely remember them taking me, like, to go get an x-ray, I think, or MRI, but I don't even remember. I couldn't even stand up.
Okay. Has there been any prior incidents of domestic violence between you and Mr. Greene?
No, I mean, we have arguments, but, like, no. He did get arrested prior, February, but those charges were dropped and everything, so.
I also see that there was an incident in May. Is that correct? Is that true?
What happened? I don't.
There was another domestic violence incident between you and Mr. Greene?
No, February is when he was arrested.
I think this is the May one.
Yeah, this is the
Your Honor, I'm seeing two.
I went to the hospital the 25th.
Charges of,
There was 2 charges, one from December, and then February he got arrested. So when he got arrested, February, they tried to charge him with another charge. Honestly, I kind of feel like they're attacking us. And
so did you?
There's also a Facebook post that I want taken down that is like slandering his name, our reputation, all of our friends. Like, he didn't say my name, but they know who his girlfriend is. Like, I'm highly upset. It's a lot of stress. My grandma's in the hospital dying. She's been in there for 2 weeks. Like, I don't need this extra. I need to get to my grandma and my kids and worry about paying bills. Like, him being in there is just gonna drown. I'm gonna lose everything.
You guys don't live together.
No, but we're building together. We're trying to establish a, dynasty. Like, we're building together still.
Your Honor, I don't have any more questions for Ms. McCowan. However, I do have an argument for the court.
Hold on, let Ms. Smith ask.
Oh, sorry.
Ms. Smith?
Ms. McCowan, good afternoon. Are you afraid of Mr. Greene at this time?
No, ma'am.
And have you been afraid of him in the past?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I love you.
You don't even know me. Again, they can't see you.
I know. That's why I said it.
Okay, what was your argument?
Your Honor, the state would be asking for no contact at this time based on there being 2 recent events involving.
Yeah, I'm gonna order no contact.
No, please. No.
Listen to me.
How can you guys?
Why don't you listen to me?
To him.
Why don't you listen to me? Are you under the influence of something right now?
No, I did not sleep last night. I'm not under the influence of anything.
Okay.
My nerves are bad, and I'm.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm gonna order no contact. You guys don't live together. You have no kids together. There's no reason you have to have contact. There's a history of violence here. You didn't do anything to. You told the cops something completely different than you're saying today. I don't believe you that you're not.
Did I write
and
a
I want to make it
statement?
clear.
I have the statement.
Don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
I want to make this clear. This is my decision. This isn't her decision. It's my decision. I'm making the decision here today to order no contact, maintain separate residence, no drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription, no weapons of any kind. Thank you. Bond will be set at $10,000, and then I'm going to revoke on the 22 CF 1032. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
You can have a seat. He has no
I love you, Loretta.
All right, Philip Michael Simmons.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Philip Simmons, 11593.
All right, Mr. Simmons, you're here on a violation of probation warrant signed by Judge Karsten. He set your bond at 0, so I'll stay that bond and appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you on the violation. Thank you, sir. Lauren Barksdale. Name and date of birth, please.
Lauren Barksdale, 41382.
All right, Ms. Barksdale, I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you on this case. You're here on 1 count of battery. Find there is probable cause for that charge. Any history?
No, Your Honor, she have no history.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $500 with PTR. I'm going to order no contact with the victim to maintain a separate residence. I'll allow you a one-time return with law enforcement, and then no weapons of any kind. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Doan Fish.
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth?
Kadani Fish, 072578.
All right, Mr. Fish, I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith in her office to represent you. You're here on one count of battery, domestic violence. I find there is probable cause for that charge. What's the case he's out on probation on?
21 CT 1979.
It's a DUI?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim, to maintain a separate residence, allow one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings, no weapons of any kind, and no alcohol. I'll take no action on the probation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Andrea Fry.
She is present and approaching, Your Honor.
Name and date of birth, ma'am? All right, Ms. Fry, you're here on one count of battery as well with Mr. Fish. I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith in her office to represent you. All right. 'Cause I assume there's a conflict, but that'll be dealt with later on, right?
Yes, Your Honor, our office will handle that.
All right. Okay. I'm going to set your bond. She qualifies for bond and PTR?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $100 with PTR. Order you no contact, no alcohol, no weapons, and to maintain a separate residence with a one-time return with law enforcement. I don't know which one of them is going to get the residence, if it's...
I believe it's at the Sun Inn, so
Okay.
they just probably need to return to get their belongings, and then
Sure.
one of them can find separate lodgings.
Okay, so, I mean, I'll allow the return to the scene.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Edwin Javier. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Edwin Javier, 7778.
All right, Mr. Javier, I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you. You're here on one or two counts of battery. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find there is probable cause for those charges. I'm going to issue you be released on $100 with PTR on each count. I'm going to order you to have no alcohol, no weapons. Did PTR make contact with both victims or just one?
Let's see here. Neither.
It says wants to have contact on the face sheet.
With one. It was with one of them. Okay. And the other one was, I think, 18.
Yeah, it's a son and I'll do a non-hostile on this one.
Okay.
Thank you. So non-hostile, no weapons, no alcohol. All right, thank you. Kevin Jones.
Your Honor, he is in detox. If we could reset for 24 hours after.
Sure, so we'll reset this one 24 hours after release. Do I have two Kevin Jones?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Alpheus Thompson.
He is present and approaching, Your Honor.
We do have people here. 1 second. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Alpheus Thompson, 0320-2003.
All right. Mr. Thompson, I'm going to appoint Ms. Smith and her office to represent you. You're here on one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. I'm going to find out there's probable cause for that charge. Hi, ma'am.
Hi,
What's your name?
Vanessa Cruz.
And what's your relation to?
Him and his mom are my neighbors.
Okay. I see that there's a young lady here with you.
Yes, that's my mother-in-law. She was also involved in the situation.
Okay. What's
because it's him and his mom that.
No, I read it.
Okay.
What's her name?
Juanita Davila.
Oh, okay. Does she want to say anything, or you're just covering for both?
Did you want?
Why don't you come up?
I'm sorry, I have anxiety. I'm like a little nervous, so I'm fidgety.
No worries. Did I swear you in? No. I haven't sworn you in yet. Okay, so we'll swear you both in. What's your name?
Juanita Davila.
All right. If you guys can both raise your right hands, please. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I've already found probable cause for the arrest, so we're only here on terms of release. I'll just turn it over to the state if you have any questions for them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you scared of him?
Yeah, I'm very, and his mom, both.
Okay. My understanding is that the mother was also arrested?
She's the victim under the Valdefisio case.
But I don't have that one today.
Oh.
She got bonded out.
Oh, bonded out?
Okay.
Okay, she wasn't on my stack. So. Okay. Is there any conditions put on it? Oh, what are you guys are scared?
Yeah, we just came from upstairs trying to get downstairs trying to get an injunction because
I'm the victim of Valdelcio.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was just making sure I said your names right. Ms. Cruz in the red and Ms. Davila in the black, correct? Okay, Ms. Cruz, the incident with Mr. Thompson alleges that he pointed a gun at your face, is that correct?
At my 16-year-old daughter. He pointed the gun at my 16-year-old daughter's face, and I grabbed the gun. I moved
Your Honor, I can't hear this.
Yeah, you guys, so the microphone is there.
Okay. He pointed a gun at my 16-year-old daughter's face.
Can I just?
Your Honor, defense would object to this line of questioning.
I'm going to sustain the objection. So I have to go based on what's on the affidavit. It's just on the terms of release, not the probable cause. So you have questions about the terms of release. They've already indicated they're scared.
My understanding is Mr. Thompson is your neighbor, correct? Where does he live in proximity to where you live? Okay. Remember to talk into the mic.
Right below me, he lives right below me.
Has there been any recent incidents of arguments or any disturbances between you and Mr. Thompson or your family and Mr. Thompson other than this incident?
Your Honor, defense would also object to this line of questioning as it is not within the four corners of the charging affidavit.
I'm going to sustain. I'm just going to turn it over to defense. You have any questions for them?
I do not at this time, Your Honor. May I have one moment to confer with my client?
Sure.
Your Honor, defense has no objections to no contact with the alleged victims and a one-time return to his mother's apartment to collect any belongings. At that point, he can, find somewhere else to reside since it is within close proximity of the alleged victim's apartment, while this matter is pending.
Okay. So I'm gonna order he be released on bond. I'm gonna set bond at $150,000. Order he have no contact with the victims or their family or any witnesses. Not return to the scene. One-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. No weapons of any kind. No contact with co-defendants either.
I have a question about
What?
bond.
Hold on one moment, Your Honor.
I'll remove the co-defendants. He can have contact with his co-defendant. I had said no contact with co-defendants. I'll take that away. You can have contact with, but no contact with the victims or witnesses.
Your Honor, at this time, we would ask for a lower monetary bond in this matter. It does state within the charging affidavit that the alleged victims did go downstairs and were verbally arguing with the accused and his mother, so there is a
Did they point a gun in their own faces?
No.
No lowering the bonds. 150,000. Thank you. All right, thank you. That's the last one I have.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, we're off the record.
When is, what happened with,
She was bonded out.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Thank you to all of my patrons, members, and supporters. You are the reason that I am able to upload new bond courts daily. All members and patrons receive access to the bond court Discord server. Please send me a message on Patreon or leave a comment on YouTube if you are unable to join the server. Thank you all for your support.